Hi, I'm Gingold and I'm here with Rozalia Russian, and we've done Rosa's makeup the same as what I did for the GQ ball recently, where Rosa wore the most stunning dress. Who was the dress by again?
It was this incredible rainbow sequin dress from a label called the Attico, which is available at Harrods, and it was so much fun. It was like colourful.
Super colourful sequins, and when Rosa showed me a picture of the dress, I just thought, oh, we have to do something amazing with the makeup. So we picked up on the strongest colours for me, which were pink and gold, and we've created this smoky eye look, and you can watch the video to see how we did it. I'm starting by prepping the skin with Embryolisse and the gold strobe cream from MAC mixed together, which is great for hydrating the skin and gives a bit of a luminous glow. I'm starting this look with the eyes first because I'm going to be using quite a bit of colour and there might be some fallout, so it's just a little bit easier to do the eyes first, and then we can clean up any mess and then finish off the skin after. So I'm just prepping the eyes with Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk No. 6 and setting with some translucent powder. So the first step for the eyes is I'm using Maybelline Colour Tattoo. This is a light pink colour that will just help keep the eyeshadow on and just give it a bit of a boost. Sometimes the eyeshadows can look a little bit powdery or a bit lackluster, so if you're starting with an eye primer base, then the colours really jump out. So the dress that Rosa wore to the GQ ball had lots of pink in it. That was the colour that we really decided to accentuate and bring out, and the pink's also really great for bringing out greeny blue eye colours. I'm using the Huda Beauty eyeshadow palette from Sephora, and I'm just mixing the matte pink tones together and using that as the base. When you're working with these colours, it can seem a little bit full on at first, but when everything else goes on, when the lashes go on and the eyeliner goes on, it really needs quite a lot of intensity for it to pop. So don't worry about how pink it's looking to start. So now I'm going in with a darker plum burgundy colour in the outer corners and blending it in. So when I apply the colour, I use a brush like this that has shorter, stiffer hairs, which is great for applying the colour and getting that intensity, and then I use the fluffy brush to blend it in. And then I'm just going over it again and again just to build up the intensity of the colour that I want. Now I'm going in with the darker brown, chocolate brown, and just intensifying these corners. A good trick to figure out how much colour you need and where you should place it is to work with the eyes open, because then you can see how much space you have to work with. Now I'm going in with the Inglot Black Gel Eyeliner, just to give a little bit of depth to the eye. I don't want it to be like a super smooth painted line. I'm going to blend it to smudge it a little bit, so it's got a bit of a smoky feel. But this eyeliner is great because it's really, really black and it just does not move. You could go swimming in it. Sometimes I can't even get it off my hand at the end of the job. And just to soften that line, I'm mixing a bit of black eyeshadow in, just to really blend that in. So now I'm going to use this colour Energy from the BH Solar Flare palette. And I'm just using my finger just to press that in to the middle of the eyelids. So now to highlight the inner corners of the eyes, I'm using a different Maybelline Colour Tattoo. This is like a light gold creamy colour, and I want this highlight to be quite intense. So that's why I'm starting with a cream, and then I'm going to put the shadow over the top. And I'm blending this in here because this is where I'm going to put some gold, because the dress also had lots of gold accents. So now I'm using Wavelength colour, which is a nice gold, intense gold colour. So I'm not doing this style as a cut crease, if you know what a cut crease is. If you're not sure, it just means basically when this line in here is really defined and separated from the colour that's in the contour, but I don't want to do it like that. I want it to be really blended. So I'm using the colour Nylon from MAC as the highlight because I want it to be quite white and frosty, and so it really is separate from the other colours. And I'm just amping up this socket in here with a little bit more of the chocolate brown and black. So for the highlight under the brow, I'm using Hustler Baby, which is quite a gold highlight colour under the brow. So now that most of that eyeshadow is done, I'm just going to clean up under the eyes with some Bioderma. So now I'm going over the skin with Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk number 6 and the Ray Morris number 23 foundation brush. I just love this brush. You might have seen I've used it in my other tutorials. It just does the whole face so quickly. It gives a really even, flawless result. It basically does half the work for you. So I'm just going in under the eyes with the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer with a beauty blender, just to give a really flawless finish under the eyes. So sometimes the concealer you can use under the eyes can be a tiny bit lighter. It doesn't have to be exactly the same colour as the rest of the face. A little bit lighter is okay, as long as it's not super white. And then I'm setting the under eye area with some translucent powder. Not heaps, it's not being baked. Don't need lots and lots of powder, just enough that it doesn't move around. Now I'm going to do brows, and I'm using the Benefit Ka-Brow Brow Gel. I go between favouring brow gels or pencils or powders. This is just the one I'm really liking at the moment, but on a different day might be something different. But I really like this colour because it's not too dark, but it gives depth to the brows. And I'm just filling in just where she needs it. So I always brush the brows first. Don't forget to brush the brows. And like I always do, I don't want it to look really painted or like stenciled. I just want it to look like hairs. So I'm just applying it with soft feathery strokes for a more subtle result. So now I'm going to finish off the eyes by doing the shadow underneath. So I'm starting with that base pink all the way along and making it really blended. And I'm just intensifying the shape and the colour in the outer corners, so it's a little bit darker and a little bit thicker in the outer corners, but still very blended. Just extending this shape out a little bit. So I'm just building up these outer corners with some of that chocolate brown. So now to really make these colours pop, I'm going to line the inside of the eye with black liner. So now to contour, I'm using Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk again, just in a slightly darker colour. This is number 9, and I'm just going around the forehead and a little under the cheekbone too. So it's a very, very natural, very blended contour. I'm just really blending those two foundations in together. So just to amp up this contour a little bit, I'm using the Fenty Beauty stick in just under the cheekbones and blending it in with that foundation that we just did. And now I'm just doing a tiny bit with basically just what's left on the brush. I'm not taking any more. I really don't want it to look like stripes or lines. Just a bit on the sides of the nose, just to bring that out a little. And then just same thing, blending that in. So now for the bronzer, I'm using Hourglass Radiant Bronze, just to blend through that contour and bringing that forward a little. This is one of my favourite bronzers for quite a luminous glow. And you can put it on the forehead too, but we don't want to put too much because it does have a bit of a shimmer in it, and I don't want it to look too sparkly, but it's nice just to blend it across the face and a bit across the chin and jawline. So now for the blush, I'm using Peony from Stila, which is a cream blush, and it's a soft natural pink, but enough pink that it'll tie in with the eye makeup. So for the highlight, I'm using the Hustler Baby from Fenty again. So it ties in with the gold that's already on the eye. And just blending this along the cheekbone and just a little along the nose. And Cupid's bow. So for the lashes, I'm just giving them a quick curl. I like to curl in 2 different points on the lash, so that way they don't stick up on a right angle. And I'm going to do false eyelashes as well, but always make sure that the lashes have a really good coating of mascara before the false lashes go on. So for the lashes, I'm using some medium length individual lashes in the outer corners and some shorter ones blending in, just so that it really plays up this almond shaped eye. So there's about 4 or 5 medium length on each quarter, and now I'm just going to fill in the rest with shorter ones. And I'm packing them in quite close, so they're almost touching. So the glue goes on white, but it does dry clear, so when that's disappeared, we'll know that they're dry. And it's best not to put mascara on them until they're dry, or they'll just start to move around. Because this look is all about the eyes, I wanted to keep the lips really subtle and understated so it's not too intense. So I'm using a very soft lipstick called Jubilee from MAC, and it's a very neutral, soft beigey sort of colour, very similar to Rose's own lip colour. And while these top lashes are drying, I'm just just going to pop some mascara on the bottom ones, quite a lot, it's quite a lashy look. So now that the lashes are on, I can start to get a bit of a picture of how this is coming together, and I can see that I want the gold to be amped up a little bit, so I'm just adding a touch more gold in here. And so this is the finished look that we created for Rozalia for the GQ ball this year. You can see it's quite a smoky eye with pink and plum and burgundy and gold accents, which really bring out her light green eyes, and it just tied in with the dress really beautifully. It's an awesome, playful nighttime look that you could rock with any kind of outfit, but especially something kind of loud like the dress that she wore. Pinks, plums, golds, which just complement her eye colour so beautifully, but she's got really lovely skin. We can still see freckles and a really nice soft lip.